Hey, everybody. Me being from Michigan, we never know what the weather is over here. It's hot, it's cold, we get snow, we don't get snow, whatever. Anyhow, we're going to learn to do something like this. We're going to take an image that was maybe shot in the summer that looks like this, and we are going to make it into a winter scene that looks like this. Now, why would we do anything like that? Because we just love winter and we just can't let go. Are we ready for this? Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, this is dedicated again to photography and as a photo artist, trying to push ourselves creatively out of the box to do some really cool and unique things. All right, today we're going to take a look at being from Michigan, the United States, our weather is always changing, and how do I change? And this has been brought up a couple of times because people said, "Oh, I've seen this done before, but I'm not sure how to do it." Well, there's a lot of different ways of doing this. This is one of my favorite ways of doing it, and I've done it once in a while. And I'm not a landscape photographer, but this is really dedicated to landscape photographers, maybe even wildlife. Something that you might want to do to take an image that you shot in the summer, and it would be like an awesome winter scene, but you don't have access to that, or it's too long of a trip, but you want to create the illusion of a winter scene. So I'll share the technique with you. Also, based on your suggestion, and that was, hey, Steve, could we have these files available to us with a training video? Would that be possible? And it's hard for me to do this all the time, but yes, I'm doing this on this one. If you stay to the end, I'll show you where you can actually get this stuff. And I'll actually go into a little bit more in-depth training on this and another technique you might have to apply because you weren't getting 100% result on the image that you are working with, because all images, again, are slightly different. Okay, let's jump into Photoshop. And again, by the way, for the ones that have contributed to the buymeacoffee.com/Stephen Photo Artist. Thank you very much on that. I appreciate it. And it helps support this channel. And it's strictly, again, on a volunteer basis. It's not a subscription base. Okay, let's take a look at this in depth, and that is with Photoshop Open. I'm just going to go to the Open dialog box. You guys know how I usually go there, and that is I just double click on my workspace to go find the image I'd like to work with. And now I have a set of images here, and later I'll share with you where you can get a bonus video. This video that we're doing right now, there's going to be an additional training techniques and stuff that goes over and above what I'm going to do right now. 2 sample images to practice the techniques, and actually there is a total of 4 overlays, snow overlays that you could use, and those were custom built by me. And I'm actually in the bonus video here actually going to explain how I create those overlays, so I don't have to really go out and buy any at all. So that's again bonus material out of the scope of here today, but again I'll show you where you can get all this stuff. Anyhow, the other video I did here is working with this forest image. So I'm going to work with the Open Valley image instead. So I'm just going to select that and open it. And let me just change my view here. Make this a little bit smaller. And put that up about, oops, sorry about that. What did I do? Move tool. Okay, let's push this about right there. So I can zoom in on this for you and see what's going on. Okay, the very first thing I need to do is make a selection. And of course, if there was snow here, the snow obviously is going to drop on the ground. And so if you go to Select drop-down menu here, in the drop-down menu, you'll see a feature there called Color Range. So I'm going to choose Color Range. So let the dialog box open up. And with this opened up, I like to see none in the drop-down menu so I can actually see the image. And then what I'm going to do is the first eyedropper is selected here. And what I'm going to do is click on a point to pick up some green. So it's showing me that these are the greens it sees in the image. I'm going to click on the plus now eyedropper, and I'm going to go elsewhere on the image and click and drag. And then I can fine tune with the fuzziness slider in the dialog box. And what I want to be careful about is not to go too far where I'm picking up the rock formations and stuff. I want to back off on that. So now that I picked my colors and I'm moving the slider here, I'm going to change my view to grayscale. And that way I get to see this a little bit better. And let me push this up a little bit. Now I'm looking at the horizon there. I don't know if I want that or not. So let's go to none. And I don't know if that was picked. So I'm going to click on that. And this looks like it picked up more of that. But it picked up some of that rock in that. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to pull back a bit on that rock. Maybe about right there. Okay, so again, you're just adjusting this to fine tune everything. We'll go to grayscale. There we go. And that looks pretty good to me. So with that done, I'm just going to click on OK to accept it. And then these are called marching ants. Some people call these dancing ants. In Kidding League, I call them a pain in the ants. But basically, it's trying to show where all your selections are there. I'm going to go to the Oreo cookie dipped in milk. That is not the official name of that button. I don't know if there is an official name, but years ago, and I saw an Adobe certified instructor from Adobe call it that jokingly. So I thought that's pretty cool. And that's so we'll call that the Oreo cookie dipped in milk icon or button. Click on that. I'm going to choose solid color. Now, when I choose solid color, what I want to do is push this all the way up to white. So let's go up to white right there and then click on OK. And you can see that before, after on the white. And if you feel that you needed to pick up a little bit more, like maybe I want a little bit more, I don't know, definition here and maybe over here in the lower left-hand side. So let me show you an option that you could do. And that is if I hold the Alt key down or Option on a Mac and I click on the thumbnail here, which is a mask, it brings this up, and I'm going to grab my paintbrush, make sure my chip color is white, which it is, and I'm going to go to Overlay as a blending mode in the drop-down menu here. So I'm going to come down to Overlay, and I'm going to change the opacity to about close to 30%. And basically what that allows me to do is I could go in this area, oh, my mouse is acting up a little bit, and paint in this area, and it will bring out more of the whites as I'm doing that. It's very subtle here for you, but it's just popping that a little bit more. And I still want to leave some black areas in there because, again, maybe the snow didn't cover everything 100%. If I wanted to cover it more, then I would make these areas, white and stuff. But I do want to make it look more natural, like it was a light falling and stuff. Okay, so that's a little bit of touch up right there. So now when I go back here to look at this, there's a before, and after. Now, this is going to be something that's totally optional. And before I do that, and that is the sky. I'm not happy with the sky. I like a little bit more drama. And again, very subjective. It's just basically what you want to do in your image. But since I got a lot of sky there that's washed out, I'm going to replace that. So there'll be this is a minor bonus. But before I do that, let me show you that by double clicking on my layer right here. Now, don't select one of the thumbnails here and don't click on the name. You want to click in the gray area and just double click. And what this will do is bring up what's called the blending options dialog box. And down here where it says underlying layer, I want to split this node right here in half by holding the Alt key down or Option on a Mac, click and drag. And what that allows me to do is as I do this, you can see what's happening to the image on the left. I'm fine tuning where the white is falling. It's making more of a transitional look rather than sometimes you get too much of a blockiness or blotchiness type of look. So by separating this, you can actually fine tune this based on, again, your image, because all images are going to be slightly different. Okay, so that's just a minor adjustment right there. Okay, before I add snow to this and change the, say, color grading of this, what I'd like to do is change the sky. And a lot of times you'll be happy with the sky. In this example, I'm going, what the heck, let's change it here. So let's add that. So what I'm going to do is make sure I'm on the background layer. In fact, I'm going to hide that for right now. And I'm going to go to the File drop-down, Edit drop-down menu, and come about 2/3 of the way down. It says Sky Replacement. Now, when I do that, you're going to see this dialog box open up. And it picked up this sky because I did this, a couple weeks ago. But if you expand this down, let's just take a look at, we've got, blue skies and sunsets. And so this one was under spectacular. And when I expand that and scroll down, there's the sky that I chose right there. So I'm just going to choose that sky. Okay, so it's already in the image, and I'm not going to worry about foreground adjustments at all. I do want this, I'll put it to a new layer. And right here, the brightness of this is up to me if I want to make this brighter. And I think I'm going to push that up a little bit like that. The temperature, I'm going to leave that alone because I'm going to color grade a little bit later, but at least the sky looks a little bit more interesting than it did before. So I'm going to click on OK to accept that. And again, just a reminder, this is an optional thing I'm just doing here, throwing this in. And then let me activate this again. So the very top layer where we added the snow. Now to tie everything together to make this look really cool, number one, we need to add some snow here. So to do that, I'm going to go to the open dialog box again. And I'm going to give you, for the ones that get this, you're going to have 4 different overlays. I'm going to choose the very first one. And then I'm going to grab my move tool. So V like in Victor for the move tool. In fact, I need to see my tab, so I need to change my view. I'm going to click down, drag to the tab of the image, and pull back down and let go. And it drops it right in there. I'm going to go back here and close out of that. Don't need that overlay anymore. So with that selected, Control T. And I'm just going to resize this. Maybe like that. And again, you could rotate this or whatever, but for right now, I think I'm just going to leave that alone. Now, to make this work, I have to change my blending mode to screen. So I'm going to choose screen right there, and that gets rid of the black right there. Now, I could accept that and change that and maybe push the opacity down if I want, or I could kick it up. I mean, it's totally up to you. But I just want to show you that. Let's expand on this again. So Control O or Command O on a Mac. And let's go grab another, not sure which one I want. I'm going to grab this one, number 2. And there's a lot of stuff going on there on that one. So again, move tool and click and drag, and let's drop it into my composition there. And let's get rid of that. We don't need it. Okay, so now that I have that set, Control T, and smaller, snowflakes would be nice for something in the distance. Things that are close up, the snowflakes would be bigger. So that's why I chose these 2. So one is small and one is the bigger one. And again, I go to the screen blending mode, and there we go. So let me change my view again here on this. Okay, so this might be too intense for you. It might be too much going on. And by the way, since I have 2 layers here, and you could have 3 or more. I mean, it just, you make the judgment on how many overlays you want to put in there. I'm going to select the very top one and hold the Shift key down and select the one below that. But if I had 3, I would go to the bottom one. Control G or Command G on a Mac. So it'd be a G like in good. And I'm going to just rename that and call that snow. And the reason I want that there is that I could push the opacity down of everything at the same time if I want to give a different look. But if I go over inside here, because I just want to keep my head organized, I'm going to go to this one that has all the little ones. But you know what? They're very stagnant. Where the other ones, it's like motion blur coming down. So I need to add a motion blur to this. So with that selected, I'm going to go to Filter, drop-down menu, right here. Come down to Blur, and I'm going to choose Gaussian Blur. I'm sorry, not Gaussian Blur, Motion Blur. And I'm going to change the direction to a little bit of an angle here. And you can play it to distance. You can see the before and after, how that's showing up in the image. And whatever looks good to you, maybe a little bit more. And then I'll click on OK. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Just as a footnote to this, if I collapse that, so I see the snow folder, I can actually add a mask to that by going to my layers palette and add the mask, and then grab my paintbrush, B for brush, and let's make sure it's set to normal because I had it at overlay. And if I want to fine tune this by just maybe upping my opacity on the brush to about 80%, and just make sure you're painting in black on the mask, and just maybe, touch it up based on your needs. So you can see that there's a before and after to get what you want. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's finish this off by doing color grading. Now, there's a couple different ways we can do this, or we could do both methods and maybe blend them together and stuff. One would be come down to the Oreo cookie again, dipped in milk, and I want you to choose color lookup. And when you do that, in the drop-down menu here in properties, there's a feature. How convenient is this? Crisp winter look. Now, that's going to be really strong and intense, like most of these are. You want to always push that opacity down to get to the look that you like. So I'm going to push this down to about close to 25%. There's before, after, before, after. That does not look too bad. So I'm going to hide that, and I'm going to go back over here to this layer, and let's do it a little bit different now. And that is, I'm going to choose color balance from the Oreo cookie. And then I'm going to go to properties over here, and I'm going to choose to add a little bit of cyan. Again, each image you have is, these values are going to be different. It's all based on visual. And I'm going to push the bottom one to the blue side. And that gives it, that's really nice. It gives a really nice cold winter feel to it. But how about if I activate the top one and we do both? How about if, I'm just goofing around here playing. I'm trying to give you choices based on, what kind of look do you want? And how about if I do a blending mode of multiply or, light and screen? You can see how these things change a little bit. So I'm going to leave it alone at normal. But the point is, you could go over here at the very top layer and change with blending modes here. You can go over to this one, play with blending modes. I mean, virtually unlimited combinations of things that you can actually do. But this is where we came from. This is where we started. And that's what I finished up right there. Okay, so hopefully you learned something. By the way, if you learned anything, please do me a favor. Like this video. If you have not subscribed, subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way, the next time I upload a video, you'll get notified. Also, my email address right here at the very bottom, it's stevenphotoartist@gmail.com. Now, let's talk about where can I get these to download and whatever. And that is going to be at buymeacoffee.com/Steven Photo Artist. So let's take a look at that right now. Okay, after you go to, again, buymeacoffee.com/Steven Photo Artist, this is the website that you will see. And that's all you have to do is on the home page here at the very top, if you'll go to extras, and you'll see it listed here, summer into winter. And if I click down on that, this is today's video. So you can actually click on the link. It'll actually open up today's demo video so you can see more about what this was about again. And then if you want to get it, I'm charging $7 for that. Let's take a look at what we actually get in the program. So let me just minimize this. And if you take a look at the folder that you would receive when you download this, excuse me on that, you're going to get the video, the actual training video, but I'm going to add some extra information in the training video versus what you saw on the original one from YouTube. The bonus one is really how did I make these 4 different snow overlays? And I'll share that information with you. And then again, the sample files are right there, the 2. So this is what you get in the set when you order that. And again, my goal was, and I told you before, that I wanted to keep everything at $5, $7, and $10. I don't want to go over $10. I'm trying to make this very inexpensive because I know most people, this is not a business for you. This is a hobby. And I don't want to sit there and have you worry about spending $50, $60 or more on a training video. And again, thanks to the one that suggested me to put some of the things I actually do on YouTube on buymeacoffee.com, so you could actually purchase it with the sample images and the training video and go step by step to follow exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so with that out of the way, hopefully that explains a little bit more about what's available to you. And again, that is at buymeacoffee.com/Stephen Photo Artist. Okay, until next time, guys, get that camera out. Let's practice and creatively think out of the box. See ya.